Hey, how's everyone doing? So, we are going to deal with the subject. Let me adjust my camera here for a minute because that will bother me. Okay, I got it now. Here we go. So, going to go into Colossians. All right. And we're going to deal with being alienated from God, separated from God. What does this mean here? So here we go. Colossians chapter 1, starting in verse 15. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him, and he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. That's pretty amazing. In him, all things, there's that cuss word all, hold together. Understand what that means. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything, he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. And you, who once were alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds, he has now reconciled in his body of flesh by his death, in order to present you holy and blameless and above reproach before him. Now, what's going on right there is that you were, with this, alienated and hostile in mind. Anytime you see the word "and" in the Bible, it's literally a parallelism type word that parallels things. Okay? So in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11, it says this: therefore, remember that at one time, you Gentiles in the flesh, called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, which is made in the flesh by hands. Remember that you were at that time separated from Christ, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. Now, how were the Gentiles estranged? How were they separated and alienated from God? Again, we'll go back to the original text. Alienated and hostile in your own minds. It's my grandson. Why do we know this? Because in Romans, it tells us, let me go there, that how shall they hear? Romans chapter 10, how shall they hear unless they that preach the gospel be sent? So they have to hear the good news. Let me give you one last one. Ephesians 4:18. Now this I say and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer walk as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardness of their heart. Alienated from the life of God. How do you get alienated from the life of God? In your own mind. One thing you'll be surprised to know is that alienation from God happened in humanity's mind in darkness. And it only happens there. Nowhere else does this happen. So what does it mean to be alienated? And the word alienated means this: separated from the life fellowship of God that comes in that intimate place of fellowship. So what is it that separates you from God? what you believe about God. I probably could have made this video shorter, but what you believe about God is what separates you from God. Okay? So, hope that's been a blessing to someone. Hope that's helped you. Bless you. Have a great day. And remember, you are loved.